Hi, good evening, folks, and welcome to this week's edition of the Minority Report. I'm Marlon David, your host, and whew, we are literally in the month of December 2023. It seems as if it was just yesterday that we were now coming on air with the Minority Report and really imploring persons to log in and to listen to the program. At some point in time, different times, it felt as if I was actually begging persons, please get your families. Let's pay attention to the program, because I understood the value that the program would have brought to each and every one of us here in Tobago. But here we are, coming to the end of 2023, and the Minority Report is the most viewed program on any network in Tobago. And I might even go as far as say coming close in Trinidad and Tobago, because I've been hearing a lot of testimonies from persons who have been on the show on their visits to Trinidad. And they are actually saying people are stopping them all in the streets and saying, listen, I see you on a program, or I saw you on a program. Yes, I always look at that program. It's very informative and so on. So I want to really, really take this opportunity to say to all our viewers, to all our listeners, to all who participate in the conversations, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because if we didn't have the contention, sometimes we will not be able to get some of the ideas that we actually come up with. Even the Bible says that iron sharpens iron. So it means that you must have friction in order to really always be sharp and to be able to grow. So I want to say thank you to everyone who has made this program one that is sustainable. And we're going to talk a little bit about the sustainability of the program, and also one that has continued to put Tobago in a very good light in terms of sharing information. So this evening, you can, as per usual, view us on the Tobago Updates website, the Tobago Updates YouTube channel, or for those of you who are still in the Facebook zone or the Facebook phase, just log on to the Tobago Updates Facebook page, and you can come in. You can choose not to and just view the program, but you can come in on the live and have the opportunity to converse with us, to share your opinions, to share your comments, and so on, and even to engage in a little political banter, as we often see on the live. If you are desirous of sending us information, you can do so via WhatsApp on 284-6597. That's 284-6597, or 356-8833. That's 356-8833. And feel free to send your WhatsApp, send your comments. If you have situations that you want to have ventilated and so on, you can send images, the pictures of it, and you can send a brief explanation. And be sure to know that we will bring that to light on the program. Again, if it's not validated, what we can do is ask the question. And we can ask the relevant authorities to please look into it. So feel free to utilize every opportunity that you are provided with so that we can communicate effectively towards mutual benefit. So folks, right at this time, I want to go right into introducing my co-host in studio with me this evening. Not the regular one who you all may have been looking forward to once you hear the term co-host, but we've been doing it a bit, let me say, when it's nice, you do it twice. Last week, we were both in studio together and had a wonderful time. Joining me this evening is Minority Councillor Petal Daniel Benoit. How are you, ma'am?
I am wonderful. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, Marlon. Good evening to all of you viewing, listening to us wherever you are. Welcome to the Minority Report. Thank you for continuing to tune in to the Minority Report. Thank you for making us, as our moderator will say, the #1 program on this station. We just really appreciate all your support. We can't tell you enough how much we appreciate your support. So thank you again for tuning in. Thank you for staying locked on and logged on. And remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Yes, very much so. And I mean, a bit of excitement in the studio this evening. We have some matters to treat with, yes, but we also have some joyful tidings and interactions with some guests that we're gonna have joining us as the program goes on this evening. You know, it's really Minority Council I would have mentioned, and I said I wanted to touch on it a little bit in terms of the program being a sustainable one.
Yes.
Since the Minority Report has been on air, there have been very few times that we have not aired the program. And those times were because of critical
Yes,
issues,
circumstances
beyond our control. Someone is ill, that kind of technical difficulties and so on.
Yes.
But the Minority Report has remained true to form.
And has been consistent and predictable. You know, on a Tuesdays
Yes.
at 8 p.m., you tune in and you will find us here on the Minority
Exactly.
Report. Unlike some others who aim to imitate.
And that's why I wanted to bring that up, you know. Now that we are at the end of another year, I would have remembered coming to the end of 2022, having started the Minority Report very early in the year, we saw a number of things happening in the administration, and when they thought that they would have been able to simply crush the minority, they realized that the minority leader and minority council and the team was more of a formidable opponent than they expected. And the Minority Report was just going on and gaining momentum and more momentum. I remember when we just started, a lot of people would be very agitated when we come on air and cussing
and even for us, because we were a bit, my goodness, it was two against plenty.
Yes.
And you know, I think in terms, for me in particular, like the anxiety, this is the first time being thrust into this kind of experience and this kind of situation and environment. So it was new for me. I know it was new for the minority leader, because this is also his first stint. So, you know, the learning curve, as I will continue to say, was very, very steep. And I think as we progress, it's now 2 years, and time really does fly, because you're thinking, we're in opposition, and this would have been the first time in 21 years that the People's National Movement would have been in opposition in the Tobago House of Assembly. So that was also a new experience, and the feel of what it is to be an opposition politician. Oh my goodness, that felt so overwhelming. It felt daunting. You felt like at times, Lord, will we see light at the end of the tunnel? And I remember, you know, we would have gotten great advice over the period. And one of our mentors would have told us, look at it as not years, but months. And gradually, you see, we are halfway through the term, Marilyn. Who would have thought? And I think between the minority leader and I, persons have been expressing to us that they would have seen growth. Growth in both of us since inception, December 9th, because I think that was the day that we were sworn in, to present. It has really been, it has been rewarding, yet although we are in opposition, we had the opportunity to help people. And persons will come to the office and will share what is happening in their lives. And you know, although we are not sitting at the seat of government, but being able to listen, being able to provide whatever little support that we can, has gone a long, long way. We have seen very emotional people come into the office, Marilyn.
Wow. Tell me about it.
In tears.
Very, very emotional. And many of them were when they left,
they felt
there was
more
a sense of relief
and peace and calm. So
it really has been a time, and I'm glad that you mentioned the experience of even being in the house alone and, well, as just two against many. you know, and a lot of persons, as you said, felt as if, well, yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it.
Because
Not
so many PNM
another,
dead.
yeah, the PNM dead. But I am proud to say today, I mean, as we sit here and as we have this program, it is so, I mean, warming to walk around Tobago or to drive around Tobago and meet so many people who you do not see on the live, you don't see their name watching or anything like that, but they say to you,
I
we are
tune in.
listening
Yes.
every single week.
Yes. Up to today, I got someone because you were trying to organize. Of course, you know, in this season of Christmas, there are still a lot of families who are in need. I think this is my first experience where people have been reaching out. Don't forget me. Are you doing any
up to today, I had several of those calls.
Like don't keep me in mind. And you know, I was having some discussions because at a church level, the church also provides assistance to persons. And I was talking to someone and they were like, you know, when they listen to us on a Tuesday, sometimes it is unbelievable the things that they hear and how sad it is to listen.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was just adamant that we try to help as much people as we can during this time.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
People seem to be feeling the brunt of inability to provide during this time.
And we're definitely going to have a bit of discussion about that as well this evening, you know, but it has really been a whirlwind experience. It's been heartrending at some times, and then it's been very gratifying at other times. And one thing I want to say, you know, as we get into the program, and we've said what we've said thus far, at no point in time have we on the Minority Report presented false information. Have we presented propaganda? Have we presented anything that was tainted with untruth? There were many times when the information was being presented. We'd have persons, even on the live, sometimes saying, no, that is not true, and so on and so on. But a great deal of what we come here and we discuss, like over the last two shows, when we were discussing what we were looking at with the divisions and what they did, the information is information that is coming from the very divisions. The secretaries themselves.
And it's public knowledge.
And it's public knowledge. So when we come here, and I want to reiterate this, because as we shift gears, and I'm saying this, I'm sounding this alarm, we are going to be shifting some gears into 2024. As we shift gears, it's important for the public to understand that what we present here are the facts. The unadulterated truth. There is no ambiguity in it. There's no lie in it. 99% of it is coming from the division. We either file for FOIs, we ask questions in the House, and the information that is provided by the secretaries, which for some reason they don't want out in the public, is the information that we come here and we present. We also have, and I must say this evening, thank you to some very brave individuals who have stepped up and have become, I don't like to use the term whistleblower, but they have become guardians of the welfare and the well-being of the Tobago House of Assembly, and would have come forward with certain information. Some people would have dropped off envelopes at the office. Some people would have called anonymously. Some people would have messaged. Sometimes you just get there, I've gone to the car already, and just get a piece of paper stuck in the windscreen, in your wiper, and when you open it, is a lot of information, and credible information, that when we do the research, when we follow it up, is factual. So, you know, we also want to say thank you for those who would have been collaborating and working along with the minority leader and the minority council and the entire minority team in providing information, because the role and mandate of the minority is simply to hold this administration accountable.
Yes, and to hold them to their promises.
Hold them to their promises.
The things that they promise is what we hold them to.
Exactly.
And for the duration of our stint here on the Minority Report, that is what we have been attempting to do. And
Every
even while
week.
we are in the house,
Mm-hmm.
that is what we do on behalf of the people. And Marlon, you spoke about bringing facts.
Yeah.
And most, if not all of the times, what we say is backed up by receipts.
Exactly.
So we have either the pictures, we have the data, we have the correspondences,
Yep.
we have information to back up all that we have said.
Yep. So for those who like to come out and try to deflect by saying about PNM and 21 years, I like to say that, and I'll reiterate it this evening. December 6th, 2021, the people dealt with what the perception it was of PNM for 21 years. The people of Tobago dealt with that on December 6, 2021. From that point onwards, this administration that said they could fix it, whatever was broken, and that they will do better, they are the ones on the stage.
Yes.
They are the ones being judged. They are the ones to account. I've seen some persons say to the minority leader, well, what's your plan? It's not the minorities leader's turn to present the plans. You understand what I'm saying? It is this administration's turn. Fali and his friends. I don't know yet if TPP is an official entity. I'm not sure. And this is not us trying to be...
Yes. No, because we have heard in the space that there seems to be no formal registration.
Still some ambiguity. So we don't know. As far as we are concerned, there's still a group of independents. And what we are sure of is that they have not delivered on over 75% of their promises to the people of Tobago. Over 75%. And we have that documented. So folks, I want you to understand the minority is a researched unit. We don't say things unless we are 100% sure. We've done the research. We've gotten the information. So when we come here and we say they have not, we are sure that they have not. We've listened to their programs. We've listened to their mandates, the Mandate Mondays, the budget reprioritization, and we've listed the things that they said that they would do with the money that they have, not the money they asked for.
The money that they would have received via the parliamentary allocation. And according to the minority leader, when we would have gone through all that they have promised to do and what was completed or in progress, I think all the secretaries require remedial classes.
Remedial classes, every single one. So that is where we are at. And folks, we really appreciate the fact that you've stuck with us. You've been with us throughout another year. And we are all going to be ushered by God's grace safely into 2024. You know, on that note, and in the spirit of Christmas, I want to just touch a bit. The minority leader is not with us this evening in studio, but he's with us.
Good evening, minority leader.
Good evening. Sunday, we saw, I think, the most successful ever in the history of Tobago's children's Christmas extravaganzas. Ever put on. Right here in Scarborough, at the E-Tech car park, we saw the Christmas treat of the minority leader, Assemblyman Kelvin Morris, and minority councillor. Over 600 children
came through that.
Wow. We have some photos.
The as I said on my post today, the joy that was seen on the faces of the children, it was just priceless. It was priceless. And the parents, the parents came out. The minority leader indicated that he was very pleased to see the number of fathers that would have accompanied the children on Sunday. And then you saw families. So there were extended families. So you had the children, you had your parents, you had the extended family, the grandparents. And it was truly, truly, truly an amazing afternoon, filled with fun, because I also had partake or partook in some of the games of the evening. Yes, and we were there. We had there
Yes.
sitting with Santa.
See the
The
chairman?
chairman, came through as well. It was really, 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 and our face were also as beaming as the children who received
yeah.
gifts.
You all were in the heat of the thing, man.
Yeah, it was truly an amazing evening. You see, there we have cotton candy. So there was cotton candy, there was slushies, ice cream, popcorn, hot dogs, sandwiches.
Full works.
And of course, games, lots of games. Bouncy Castle. You saw the boys playing tic-tac-toe. This was to throw
the beanbag into the hole.
The beanbag into the hole. Then you had like a ring, small ring toss.
This is the strongest bouncy castles I've ever seen, eh? Because those children.
So a highlight. Yeah. It was a fun day. And of course, when Santa came.
The place went off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was absolute
chaos. Those children lit up.
The police almost had to come in to restore order on Sunday.
It was
really and truly, Minority Leader and Assemblyman, congratulations on hosting, I think, the most successful children's party I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was nice.
In Tobago, and I've seen quite a bit. Actually, even just this season, I've been to a few.
Okay.
And nothing like this. Nothing like this. Even from the divisions, I've seen what a couple divisions, what they hosted as children's party, and I dare say, nothing like what I saw on Sunday. So really, really hats off to the Minority Leader for hosting and really pulling off, and his team for pulling off such a wonderful. The organization was on point. I mean, later in the night, I was hearing persons saying, "Oh God, the bar bus," because there was so much giving out, and people kept coming. Even at night time, there were people who were
still
just
coming,
just arriving with their children and so on. And it speaks volumes when an individual can have families come out together in their numbers like that. And we really want to say that, we hope that God continues to cover the Minority Leader, because that what I saw on Sunday was a phenomenal feat.
We also want to thank the sponsors. Thank all the persons who would have supported, because without the sponsors, the event, and persons who would have supported, contributed, whether it be in kind, their time, financially, and for the persons who came out.
And
it would not
well.
have been successful if you parents and children did not come out to support.
Correct is right. Correct is right.
So, gratitude is a must.
Amen to that. Really, really well. And I mean, we have quite a lot of pictures. We see some still actually rolling.
Yes.
But I mean, feel free to go on the Minority Leaders page as well. And, share, comment, and so on.
Yeah.
And also, if you are willing to be a part of it next year, it is never too early to reach out and indicate that you are willing to partner. However, if you are indeed willing to partner, there are things that are going to be happening all year round. And I'm extending this today to all our viewers and our listeners. Feel free to participate. Feel free to extend, the willingness to participate and to collaborate, regardless of what it is, because a number of persons are assisted throughout the year, even coming out of the Minority Leaders Office. Not even just by hamper and that kind of thing, clothing. There are even persons who have received counseling, because mental health is also a critical issue. So we want to just put that out there.
Yes.
Thank God for a successful event.
Amen.
And folks, we really want to say thank you, the people, as per usual, for coming out.
And Marlon, before we change gears, I think the MP for Tobago West would have also had her children's Christmas party yesterday. So I think that was also a success, and we thank the MP for all that she would have done in terms of supporting the children.
Great. I trust that we would be able to get some photos of that before the show ends, so that we can also highlight some of what would have been done. So Minority Councillor, we have some very special persons in studio who, as I indicated later on, we're going to be bringing them in for us to be having some conversations. So, we want to just take a short break,
Yes.
pay some bills. I remember when our program had no sponsors wanting to advertise during this time, 8 to 9. Nobody wanted to advertise. Now we have so many people that want to buy the time for the Minority Report.
The number one program.
Because this is now considered to be prime time. So we're going to take a short break, pay a few bills, and we're going to be right back. Continue to share the live, share the live, share the live. And let's end 2023 on a very, very good note. We'll be right back.
This Christmas, speed is on us. Get up to 300 megabits per second of speed with our new Link Up Plus plan. Enjoy more speed, more channels, and free streaming for less. Plus, introducing Link Up More with up to 1 gig download speed. Download, stream, video calls, share memes, and more. Get free installation when you sign up in-store or online today at discoverflow.co.
Trinbagonians abroad support the homeland in diverse ways. Watch exemplars of patriotism and gain insights into the giving back as practiced by the TT diaspora in Tobago, spanning the period 1960s to early 2000. Produced and directed by Dr. Andre Phillips, this groundbreaking documentary is a credit to the feel-good psyche at Christmas and beyond.
Hello guys, welcome. Come have a seat.
Oh, this is so stylish and I love the fabric. Darlings, you must tell us where you got your new furnishings.
We got them locally at Standard. They've got new chic European furniture, crafted from high quality material.
Oh, Standard?
No, it's Standard, their brand new Hive collection.
Experience luxurious European furniture at a price you will love. The Hive Collection, now exclusively available at Standard.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can't beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your life can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. If sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry. If times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Good morning.
they coming with rating. So brace yourself for plenty prizes. Cause this season will be pure niceness. It's the most deals and the most vibes and the most cars and the most price. The most giveaways, the most parade. Having a Christmas season with me mobile. I want a Christmas season with me mobile. Bring the sorry levy toast to a Merry Christmas. Having a Christmas season with me mobile.
Top up, buy a plan, sign up or pay your bills. Enjoy the best Trinbago Christmas. Be mobile. Life is on.
But this place so boring enough. We don't even do nothing. Let me go somewhere now.
I really want some new things, yes? Then look no further. Portmore is the place for you.
Oh, really?
Yes, you can have anything that your heart desires. Take a look for yourselves. A world of endless opportunities. Feeling hungry? Go get something to eat. Books and stationeries, games, and much more. Portmore, the island's beat.
And yes, folks, we are back. We are back this evening. And, you know, Minority Council, we want to deal with just some very brief issues first, because we have our guests to start to introduce to the conversation and to all of Trinidad and Tobago and the region and the world by at large. We have in recent times been receiving some information. Persons have been writing, and we think that we're going to start a segment called Letter to the Host, where you write to us what are your concerns or what are the issues that you're experiencing. And I would read it publicly here and call on the authorities to at least look into it or to provide us with some sort of information. Because at the end of the day, it's the role of the minority to represent the voices of the people who can't speak for themselves and who don't have that public type of voice. So the first issue that we want to raise and just quickly deal with is an issue where a relative of one of the TADCO workers who were dismissed, so to speak, unceremoniously, they would have written saying that to date, the promises of the gratuity payments, there were 2 press releases that TADCO sent out, and they would have met with the staff and so on. The first one was, I think, on the 6th, indicating that the gratuity would be paid at the end of an audit. The second one was early in December, saying that the audit was completed and that the gratuity would be paid. To date, nothing like that has taken place. And we want to really call on the secretary, we want to call on the chief secretary. This is Christmas. I want to put it as blunt as that.
There's an expectation.
There's an expectation.
You are without employment.
Exactly.
You want something to help to
come on,
make your Christmas as enjoyable as everybody else's.
And these people, they're crying out because they have children who, I mean,
there's an expectation.
There's a difference when children is involved in the picture, who are expecting and they want to see what mommy and daddy are going to do because they are looking at the other children in the neighborhood. And
just, Marlon, as a parent, think about you as a parent not being able to provide for your children generally.
Yeah.
And then amplify it at the season where there's an expectation that, you know, you will do things differently. So the children are expecting the toys, the children are expecting the seasonal food that they partake in during this time. So we are calling on the authorities, we are calling on the secretary in the division to please shed some light.
Yeah.
please provide the information, and more than that, please be true to your promise. You said after the audit payments will be made. We are hoping that the payments are made sometime before the Christmas season.
Actually, I now have the release, and let me just read it very quickly. Update on gratuity payments for members of staff. Following through on our commitment to ensure the gratuity payments for members of the staff at the TADCO company are expeditiously processed and paid, management of TADCO is pleased to announce that the private auditing firm will complete its administrative process on Monday, December the 11th, 2023. Staff are therefore advised that the disbursement of funds will commence soon after. Today is the what?
Soon. When does administration use the word soon?
Soon
is not a date, eh?
So we just asking the secretary, we asking the chief secretary, especially the chief secretary, because he like to play, he can fix everything when there are town meetings. And he just pass a decree and it fix the TADCO workers gratuity for us, please, and let some people be able to have a Merry Christmas. Yeah? That is one issue. The second issue that we have, Minority Councillor, very quickly, is one where I think persons would have reached out to you, even indicating that there's an issue of traveling.
Yes.
Traveling payments for just around 2 years or just over 2 years that have been outstanding, and even though all the documentations were sent in, everything is in order.
Apparently the audits have been completed and the payments are still outstanding. So again, we are asking the authorities to provide some information. And I think what is being told to the employee is that apparently the file seemed to be missing or something.
Come on.
So, when you're waiting for such a long time, you're being patient, you're following up, you're doing what is required, the relevant audits apparently were completed, and it appears as if, there is nothing else requiring but to make the payment. So again, we are asking the powers that be to look into the situation. Again, it's coming to Christmas. It is over 2 years that this is outstanding. So we are pleading and we are advocating, we are asking, we are requesting on behalf of the employees, please make the payments available. And if there's a reason why the payments cannot be made, communicate with the relevant person so that they don't have an expectation that they will be receiving this and then nothing materializes.
Exactly.
So communicate, and again, more than that, provide what is
and Minority Councillor, tied to that as well is an issue of sick leave bonuses, which again, workers from I think the Division of Infrastructure, several persons would have reached out and asked, please ask it on the program, that a number of persons would have applied and filled out for the sick leave bonuses, and they're seeing persons who just came in, quote unquote, to start working, and they are getting these benefits. And there are persons who are saying, and this is as recent as up to Saturday night, Sunday actually, calling and drilling in my ears, hey, please, be begging, because these are some of the, as they say, chirrup.
Yes.
It builds up so that they could have a proper Christmas. So again, we calling on the authorities. Even we have an issue, Lord, where of procurement officers, persons who work in procurement, who are saying that they are still under the old arrangement, but people who were newly hired by the administration are now getting the new salaries, and they are still, who have been there for years and perceived to be a certain shade, are still under the old arrangement. All we are asking is to give people the just due.
Yeah.
And as many other persons in the Tobago environment have said, Tobago is for everybody. Stop governing with victimization. Stop governing with partiality. and just give people what is due to them, especially around Christmas time. And let's all just live in love and peace and harmony.
Let us participate in what Tobago has to offer.
Yes.
We are all Tobagonians. We all live here. And we are all entitled.
So we expect to at least hear from persons who would indicate that their situations have been treated with.
Yes.
So I want us to go right into our joyful segment. I mean, it is a great honor and a pleasure for me this evening to have these guests in studio for the second half of our program. You know, the Bible speaks about giving honor to whom honor is due, and it's always important. A couple of weeks ago, the party had a prize giving, an award ceremony, and before that, a dinner and so on, and a number of persons would have been honored and that kind of thing. But 2023 could not close without us having in studio with us some of the people that we consider to have really been the bedrock of what the PNM was, is, and will become as it continues to grow and to thrive. So without further ado, I will, as they always say, ladies first, I will go to my far right to introduce this beaming young lady who is in studio with us. As a matter of fact, Minority Council, I will let you introduce her, and I will introduce the gentleman.
So, viewers of the Minority Report, we have some esteemed guests in studio with us, and as the moderator would have indicated, our first guest this evening. Now we're gonna change the program a bit, make it a little lighter, and to hear from our guests in studio, we have Miss Eunice Small. We would normally call her Miss Nicey. When you see Miss Nicey, you see the red car and you see the red flags, and you see her car and her emblem before you see her in season and out of season.
Yes.
Miss Nicey is representing and flying the flag very high and proudly. So viewers, let's welcome we fondly call her Miss Nicey. Let's welcome MissNicey.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Studios and to the Minority Report.
Welcome. So my turn now. And on my immediate right, I have a young man who has blazed the trail for years, and I can't even begin to fathom, because it would have been long before I was even born. And to see someone doing this for so long and having still this kind of passion and energy for what he does is indeed admirable and an example to all of us. You know, I want to introduce to my immediate right the man himself, Mr. Selwyn Archer. You know, welcome to the program, sir.
Thanks very much, my brother. I'm here. Not leaving.
You're not leaving?
Not leaving. Not leaving.
Going nowhere.
You say what you want.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah.
You're going nowhere.
You know, it's a real joy to have these folks in studio with us. And I want us to start the conversation off this evening. I want us to get right into it. We have spent the last almost 2 years discussing and not just holding the administration accountable, but also discussing a lot about what Tobago came from and what Tobago experienced under the People's National Movement in terms of development. And it's important to hear from people who were pre-development, pre-PNM, and then during PNM, and now post-PNM. It's important to hear from your eyes what was Tobago to you, and I'll start with Nicey, as we affectionately call her. Your opening remarks. What was Tobago like in the pre-PNM era?
Well, 50 years ago, I could say.
How long?
50 years.
Oof.
When PNM was PNM, I was a little girl, and my parents and them was PNM. We had actually used to have about 8 PNM in that house. And them days when PNM, we was young children, we never used to go to school with shoes. We used to go to school bare feet. Parents and them used to oil with foot. And from the time PNM come in power, it changed everything completely. We used to have shoes to go to school. My parents and them work in garden to miners. And in the days of Dr. Eric Williams, from the time he came in power, he bring paradise to us in Tobago. That's about 50 years ago. And it's 67 years now since PNM in power. And I've experienced 50 years. When our parents were sent out to Bonaccord School, we didn't have no high school. We had, you go up to 5th standard. You leave school, your parents and them send you to learn sewing. You never used to sit down at 15, 16. My mother, I could experience, my mother was 14 of us, my mother have. I was the only girl between 14. The 10 boys. Yeah. When I left school, I go out and work. After she sent me to learn sewing. And we used to go by the lady learn sewing, but we had to wash her clothes first before she could teach us to sew. And afterward, I went and tell my mother, I said, I went and do servant work. And I went and do servant work with Dr. Bidel up the hospital for $20 a month. From Canaan to hospital. Them days was 10 cents to take bus, what we call a TRE. What was TDR buses. When we reached town, we work from town to home. Working for $20 after I leave there. PNM strictly come in power. Start to work hotel. I leave hotel, I come buy my first car. Working for $30 a month. I save it. And I purchase my first car.
Saving $30 a month?
Yes, I buy my first car. Go for my license. And for 6 weeks time, I bought a car for them days was Macanani, Tobago Services, and Neil and Massey. That was the days, and them could have paid on at $300 and get a car.
$300?
And I work for 25 cents and 50 cents. We used to work hustling down the road. And I maintain, and my first child, I maintain it. Hustle, pay, car, mind my children, send them to school, $25. 25 cents when we go Scarborough. We make a $5 when we go cinema. The car will pack with 10 at $50. So you're making that $5. But I used to transport a lot of workers like police, tech, school children. And I was self-employed. I never worked for no one. I had my 2 kids. I first a car, mind them. Used to mind cow. I used to mind pig. Torch crab, climb coconut tree. Huh? Thank God for PNM coming power that we could afford to elevate ourselves, especially my brothers and sisters, because I used to go out and work to mind them as the big one. And God helped me. And I go out there and work for 25 cents and 50 cents. Also my taxi and my 2 kids. Afterward I come, leave. I was in my mother's house still, and I come and pick up with my husband. In 6 months time, we buy a piece of land. I was in 74, 75, we come and we got married. I have a child 76. My husband to give me $200 a month, and that $200 I used to put a 50 blocks on the ground out of that money every month and making a child every year. 176, 177, 178.
You're very productive, man. Very fertile.
76 alive, 77 alive, 78 died, 79. And 1980 we're going home. Voluntary service, don't know that everybody do something for somebody, they want money. I had a set of friends build my house. We used to just go and pick them up in my car, cook some food, drop them back home. And in 1980, when I had my last child, a Christian child, about the Saturday, was 3 days like now for Christmas. I said, boy, take a $5,000 in the bank. We didn't belong to the bank, you know. Put on some windows. We didn't have toilet. We didn't have bathroom. We didn't have kitchen. I said, let's go home. And we went home 3 days before Christmas. And I never believed to see the house put away like you have everything inside there.
Mm.
And I make myself, I've done 43 years since I live in there. Thank God for P&M. And when I come, was working my father's business, $150 a week to my 3 children. After my father, I was going to go away and leave us. One was 6 years, one was 9, 10. And I go there and work. And I see I add on the papers, the PTSD applying drivers, House of Assembly, come take over the show. And I apply, and then in a week's time, they call me because everybody knows I'm a driver.
Everybody know you are the driver.
Yes. And I was successful. And from that time to now, I never give up P&M for nothing. I get costs. Don't bother me. But I still love my people's national movement, and I'll go right on with it. Nothing to stop me from the people's national movement. Look what the Boko didn't have a school. P&M. Mason didn't have a secondary school. It was 3 secondary schools. We have Scarborough Sec, Roxborough, and the Bishops. Now look at so many secondary schools we have in Tobago. And people say that P&M do nothing for Tobago. Look what P&M used to do. So many families, they could afford the books and things for the children. P&M helped them a lot. And now they say P&M do nothing. After all, we lapse and say no. But we'll just take with blows. And when we come, it just come full. P&M and P&M style.
Yeah.
And I will fly my flag until it can't fly no more.
And we know that's a long time to come.
I tell you
We want to bring the general into the conversation. Mr. Archer.
Sir, present.
You have quite a bit of experience, a wide range. Tell us what you consider to be pre-P&M's involvement. And I know you guys can speak of P&M's involvement from the days of Dr. Williams and Chambers, and then from the Tobago Council coming into office under Mr. Orville London's era. And we know we saw significant development. Tell us a bit about that era.
My young age was in Canaan, Bonaccord. And you know, when you're a youth man, you used to run to go down by the airport to see the hostess, and then when the plane moved me, you know, you get anxious to see nice white people and so on. But in those days, the airport was grass.
Grass?
Yeah.
It was grass. And when rain fall, you do have no flight again until the place dry up. But although the airport was grass, there was a man by the name of Mr. Eddie Gordon.
Like Enrique's father.
Like Ken Gordon, father.
Okay.
He used to drive a van with a long thing, and like something like Bolifier to go up on the, they didn't know electricity on the airport. Some wrong concreting with something like a Bolifier. He used to like that and walk the road. So you get flight after 6. Can't get flight after 6 in the night, in the evening. If you get too dark, you ain't getting that.
No flight.
Good. If rain fall, no flight. And time after time, the boss man, something happened. Swiss Family Robinson. It was a Flinton, and one of the plane came and skid off and so on. And they came to the self and said, we're going to pitch the runway. So they opened a quarry in Golden Grove Estate. And they used to do it, they're doing the pitching in house. Fast track. Bam, we get airport pitch, we start to get flights, Atkins, and then put on some lights so that the plane could come in and so on and so on. Yeah. But you know, we still used to go down and check, but what happened? The roads are narrow. And we didn't have no street lights. So they started running these street lights from Scarborough to go down Crump Point. Now you still remember that? Because remember now, they have a compound hotel down there.
Mm-hmm. That was the first hotel.
Like the first hotel at Billy.
Yeah, that was start to work too.
So they had to try to give them electricity because the generator thing in. Fast track, lights coming. People talking about PNM do nothing for to be.
True.
I remember when every village only have 2 telephone booths. 2 telephone booths.
We didn't have television.
When you're gone, if you want to make a call, a fire anyway, you have to run out the road. People line up to make call. You have a telephone booth at right where you see First Citizen Bank was, where they had the place. And one down at 4 roads, one up out 4 roads. But, so if you miss out this 1 year, you have to go down one up out 4 roads. And then get none again until you meet Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant at 2, and so on. Every village had 2 or 3 standpipes. You get a standpipe at Golden Grove Road. You got a standpipe right by
George.
By where Popo was it? By the cooperative by Block 22.
Yeah.
Right? Then you have one by George Street. Then you are getting none again until you meet the Moravian Church. Then you get one in 4 roads. Then you get one quite long in Milford. So you saw, and you had to tote water.
Then we had well.
Yeah.
The water, we had to
then
win the well.
Equilium came in.
Yeah.
Fast track
all of that. Yeah.
Doing them back road, pitching back roads, and so on and so on and so on. And me today. But the experience I get working, I was working county council. And I work with every chairman, every chief secretary except this one. And it wasn't so. Ochoy was the first, Mr. Robinson was the first chairman. And it was easy and simple to get Mr. Robinson. Because they used to keep meeting wrong at Sandy Hall. Place there. And council, how they say, was based there. So they come up with a thing, was to put the both county council and works together. But they couldn't put them together because some people in works have less service than the people in county council. And some people in county council have more qualification, and some people in works have more qualification. You know what I mean? So they merge them a kind of way together, but different Kalamazoo. But they call us together and ask us to agree to something. They're giving the RO, which we call foreman, an extra something to take the sheep. Because foreman used to work with the sheep. And they want to expand the gangs, the teams then. They used to call them gangs.
Yeah.
But expand these gangs from 7 to 10. But the union say if they change it from 7 to 10, the foreman will be doing costing. So we have to get checkers. And the people in works didn't take it. The county council people took it. That is why we had checkers on the roads.
Okay.
That's why we had checkers.
Saw that was
introduced checkers on the road.
I remember when it have called, my brother was a council, you know. But
yes, Mr. Lindsay. Charles Lindsay was my council.
Yeah, was council. Yeah, that's my brother.
That's your brother.
Right. So 1980, when they came up with the assembly thing, you know what happened? It's a Tobago, Trinidad thing. So it coming. Mr. Robinson was saying, oh, be careful, because these people If you try to bring them people, give back PNM the power here to run the assembly, none of we will see. So
and
people come up.
And that the year PNM win.
No.
Yeah, with my brother.
The first, no, they must come to council. The first assembly, PNM lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Right?
Robinson.
And then Mr. Robinson thing, Mr. Chambers was the prime minister. Never forget. Them days I walking in the vault in Sandy Hall. And they're moving everything to come down. I don't go down so far. So, Mr. Chambers gave Mr. Robinson a set of money. We had money. We had money. We could do anything. You know, the chairman, we start to employ people, buy all kind of thing, trucks, roll up, thing. Bacchanal start with the assembly now and the government. So they're spending the money too bad. But anyhow, that was taken care of. Fast track, everything was going good. But the problem came in when Mr. Robinson started saying the government, Trinidad government don't love Tobago. Equilam don't love Tobago. But at the time, before the Bacchanal started, before Equilam died, he gave every single steel band in Trinidad and Tobago's sponsorship. He struck every single IOTA business or whatsoever. They must sponsor a steel band. Good? So when it came in and they started talking about Tobago, Trinidad didn't like Tobago and we mustn't do this and we mustn't do that. And everybody going with Mr. Robinson. I went with him too, you know. I went with him too.
He was at PNM before he go over?
Yes, but remember Mr. Robinson was the only man, was the Minister of Finance. Mr. Dr. William.
Yeah. He was Minister of Finance.
Nobody else wasn't finance minister more than me.
Under the PNM.
Under the PNM.
Yeah.
All the rest of the time, after he leave, Dr. William took it back. But a question was asked. Why you was not making any noise when he was in the PNM? And he said, you don't make noise with people when you're in the house. You build a house, when you build a house, you could make noise, and if they throw you out, they throw you out. That's the reason why I went with him. But as time goes by, 1986, 1986, when Mr. Robinson won the election, I was in a session and I heard another individual who won on the other side. One with East, one with West. And one of them says, our time now. And who belongs to us that to go. Today I see the same thing happening now. It's our time now. Who not with us had to go. I see that happening now. But you know what bothered me? What hurt me the most is when I heard with all the things that happened to me, seeing what Mr. Robinson did, what Mr. Charles did, what everybody did.
Disrespect.
When Mr. London came, I was a foreman too in Works Division. I want to tell people, because if I should start from the beginning to now, it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, we don't have enough time for a whole year program. to discuss all that.
When Mr. London came in, Dr. Boris was the administrator was the technical officer. And then they start thinking, moving this there, moving that there, things so. Mr. London settling himself, because remember he take Secretary for Education. And but as time goes by, fast tracking, he come up with a Tobago development plan and involve everybody. Everybody, the smallest man in works could tell you. With roads, we have a say. If you're the circulating foreman for Buko, Mount Pleasant or what, and they have their little meeting, they ask where you think is possible. You have a corner where you think that corner should take. But fast track, as time goes on, the development plan kick in.
If I did have the Tobago.
And one morning,
Tony was working.
Yeah, one morning, Dr. Boris called Michael Commoner and said, we have to do something with that accident, please don't add lowlands. You have to put a roundabout there. And Michael said, well, you have a plan for it? He said, we have a plan. You responsible, get a plan in there. Mr. Wong organized the plan. And they start working on that roundabout a Friday evening. And it take 2 months to give it that roundabout. Shore Park, coming up on Shore Park, was so bad. It took me a weekend to fix it. And until a day, Mr. Sandy still coming out here now. We're getting problem in the east. We had to cut every corner from John Dial to Charlotteville.
Those times I used to call Sandy Walking Sandy when you
Walking Sandy.
So when I hear people saying that they ain't do nothing for Tobago, the secondary school, in our days, Bishop's High School, there used to be a short khaki pants, a long socks, and a long shoes, shining shoes. And it's only people who have estate or who have big work, children could go there. Good. When Eric William came in, Bill Scarborough set and Roxborough set.
That were the 3 schools.
And say that they will put money into bishops and so on and bring down bishops so that everybody could, me and you and whosoever, because only bishop people, children could go there to become doctors and all kind of things. Then they build Signal Hill. Same thing and then build Signal Hill. Well, Scarborough Bill was King's Camp. So they used to call it where people used to come and camp and so on. Roxborough Sec. Then they come and they all by way Bonaccord, Canaan, El Center Bill. That was a pig farm. There was a pig farm.
But all like Scarborough Sec to the back there, they used to pass the job train where they had the licensing. They used to pass the carry train to school and come to Shore Park and come out.
I can understand the problem that I can take. Is the disrespect that we have in Tobago and having young people. Having young people
who don't know the story.
To follow them and say things. Because in Works Division, you could have put on any political judge and go in the yard. It's a people. I'm telling you, let me say something before I done here tonight.
We have to go to a quick break.
It have some people that went up for 2 elections and go back and work in. You have a young man who went up for election, lost Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. He back in finance working. You have a lady who went for 2 in works. She won Monday the election, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. She back in work, she was a checker.
Normal.
No man.
No victimization.
Nobody tell you nothing. They work there until they resign. The gentleman who used to work finance, he worked until the movie from there. Recently.
But look,
put him on a board.
After election day, I could not go down Shore Park, you know. I don't take out my flag, you know. Until I talk about it, and so I could go down there. I used to do all delivery down there. And from the time PNM lost, when I go down the security, well, we reach great height with it until it stopped. Tell me that it's not down there, not a political thing. I had to take out the flag off of my car to go down there to do delivery down in Shore Park. I could not go down there. Also, like Victor Bruce too, I had to take off my flag to go by Victor Bruce. You know? Yeah. But no, all that stopped. But the one down in Shore Park, some security woman, I think she was a PDP. And I got great heights because she used to work rapid response. And it has somebody outside and I called she and asked me, since when we can go down Shore Park with my flag on my car? I obey when he said, you had to take out your flag. I did take it off. And I went and make the delivery. And I seek advice. And when I went back, I stopped there. I said, well, I'm not taking off my flag. Stop me from going down there. And the big at the time, I talked to the big authority. Then we meet the meeting. And she said, why she can't go down there with the flag? Because PDP win. I couldn't go to Shore Park with my flag after PDP win, you know. I just said, take it off.
So, folks, we want to go to another break, pay some bills, and we still have another guest we want to bring in.
Interesting stories.
To add to this conversation. And this is very, very interesting. I'm really glad that we having this, I don't want to call it a walk down memory lane, but as Mr. Archer rightly indicated, we have a lot of young people who
don't
in the
know.
20s, they don't know the story. And they bumping the gum all over Facebook,
They get
social
carried
media,
away.
because of only what they're hearing and saying PNM never do nothing.
But now
So
they're feeling it.
they're feeling it now, but tonight we're hearing the truth. So folks, we're going to be right back. We're going to pay some bills. And when we get back, we're going to see who is the third guest in studio with us this evening. So stay locked on, and we'll be right back.
This Christmas we celebrating, cause B-Mobile they coming with rating. So brace yourself for plenty prices, cause this season will be your nice. It's the most deals and the most vibes and the most cars and the most price. The most giveaways, the most parang. Having a Christmas season with B-Mobile. I want a Christmas season with B-Mobile. Bring the sorrow, let we toast to a Merry Christmas. Having a Christmas season with B-Mobile.
Top up, buy a plan, sign up or pay your bills. Enjoy the best Trinbago Christmas. Be mobile. Life is on.
Everybody only worrying.
Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you. Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Trinbagonians abroad support the homeland in diverse ways. Watch exemplars of patriotism and gain insights into the giving back as practiced by the TT diaspora in Tobago, spanning the period 1960s to early 2000s. Produced and directed by Dr. Andre Phillips, this groundbreaking documentary is a credit to the feel-good psyche at Christmas and beyond.
I want to really thank our guests in studio because, I mean, the last 30 plus minutes, the conversation has really been eye-opening. You know, you always hear this saying that if you don't know where you come from, you won't know where you're going. And we have to also connect the dots. Yes, it's always good to have youthful exuberance. It's always good to have young people who have innovative ideas and bright minds that can do so much more. But it's important to have the anchor of history that keeps you grounded, that keeps you focused on an actual plan. And our guests in studio this evening have indeed grounded us. Because when we hear some, and I mean, this is just a drop in the bucket, folks. When we hear some of the things in terms of where Tobago was at particular points in time in its development, where it would have come from, and, you know, we have persons who tend to think that, yeah, we get rid of the PNM and we wanted youthful leadership and so on. And in the last 2 years, we've seen epic failure because we have a leadership who, in no uncertain term, despises the way that, or the development that we would have seen our senior persons, because we would have heard several comments in a derogatory manner laid out and spewed out against many of our senior citizens in Tobago. But let me remind you that these are the persons who would have toiled in the trenches, who would have built Tobago to what it is today, where we have a group of people who call it the greatest little island on the planet, who have done absolutely nothing to contribute to it. But I'm glad that they call Tobago that, because the only reason why Tobago is the greatest little island on the planet is because 20 plus years of development brought us to this point where we can be called great. So this evening, I want to move along with the conversation and introducing into the conversation another stalwart, a man who, wears many, many hats, and someone who has been around for quite some time and really put a lot of himself into Tobago and Tobago's development and assisting other persons as well. It's a pleasure to welcome in studio with me Mr. Jonathan Daniel. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Maryland.
Right now the studio feeling like I getting squeezed out because just with the three guests that I have in studio here now with me, is so much information, so much history, so much knowledge that it's mind blowing. And Mr. Archer spoke of something earlier on where he said the three standpipes in a community and so on.
Yeah.
And I remember as a child, you know, I was always back and forth between Tobago, and that was true because in Moriah, when it's time to bathe in the evening, we used to, the group of us would walk down and go by the standpipe. The
True,
bay,
true,
that is the community bathroom spot.
Sometimes when you can't get water, we go in the well.
Yeah. So as little children, whenever we came, it was always that way. You know, but Mr. Daniel, I want you to well, you've been hearing the conversation. Join in and share your experience with us.
Well, in respect to water, good night, everyone. Night to the viewing public. In respect to water, I can remember we had a standpipe in the yard, and the ants made nests in the standpipe because no water in it, you know. And we have come to a point now where we have water at least about 4 days per week, 4 or 5 days per week, which is excellent, you know. And that is development.
So you used to work at Wassa.
Yeah.
You spent a number of years there. What was Tobago like back then, as opposed to when Tobago started seeing real development? As the guests in studio would have spoken to schools being built, health centers. You would have been in the midst of all these changes and so on.
Yeah.
What was it like before and after?
Okay. I was born in 1956. That's PNM year. And well, my folks, my parents, they were Eric Williams people. Yeah, and in respect to the water, well, standpipes. We used standpipes for a great many years. We used like standpipes, and until I moved out in 83, moved up to Short Park, trees on the hill, and we had lots of problems up there in respect to water because of the hill, the hill in nature. And but the water, it has improved greatly. We get water 4 or 5 times per week. Water will be coming up the hill. So a lot of development took place within that period.
So we saw, and again, piggybacking on what you said, those days were the standpipe days.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think I see any real functional standpipes because everybody has water coming straight
to home,
into the home.
Into the homes, yeah.
And Nicey, I want to bring you back in here because you would have shared a bit in terms of how you worked and all up until you got into PTSD and you were able to take care of your children. You were self-employed.
Yes.
You didn't depend on anybody. You didn't depend on the government. You just knew that this is what you wanted to do.
That's right. That I involved when I do it.
You get your car,
yes.
you hustle on the road,
yes.
You make your money, and you do what it is.
Yeah.
To me, in that era, people were less dependent
on the government.
Yeah. And there was much more community spirit because again I would remember
all like Christmas coming
when you come out to clean in front of your house.
Yeah.
You're cleaning the
whole
street.
Oh no, I just do it.
Everybody you're sweeping the drain and where has this community spirit?
Community
gone?
love.
The love.
Yeah, we really need to bring that back into the community. And
because all now is Christmas.
Yeah.
People coming now baking, they used to offer. If it's to go by you, now people don't go by you at all. They don't go by one another for Christmas, neither holiday. Everybody just to himself. We used to share to everybody, your neighbor. They bring you gift to them. You can't see that now.
So I want to touch a bit as well on Tobago's road network. Now, again, I vaguely remember, and I can speak from as young as probably age 4 or 5, I remember being in Tobago and every now and then back and forth. I remember there was a time, either from conversation or from actually experiencing, when you had to take a boat from Castara to come around to come into town.
When you go to the go around the coast.
The coast. And then
That was Scarlet Ibis and
Border Paradise.
Border Paradise.
And then we started seeing road development. There was a time when when you reached Bloody Bay, that was it.
Yeah, and sometimes you used to be in Lambo and see the boat come. Sometimes the boat used to touch on past Lambo and come into Scarborough.
Then we saw the connector road develop and then Bloody Bay. Now you could have gone all the way around into Charlottesville. So a number of road works and developments that took place over the years and over the period of time. And Mr. Archer, you spoke of the airport.
Yeah.
Even after that paving, we saw the airport come and get a full refurbishment.
Well, as I talk about the airport, this airport that you see, the building they know. A lot of people know that this building they don't know.
Well,
have two foundation stone on the airport there. One by Chambers and one by Robinson. The airport, because they expand.
Expansion.
Where you see the control, well, they move the control tower and going up to. You remember you have a thing like a fan. Used to be there.
Yeah, you should spend. Yeah, me and think so.
Remember when the that was far away before because they
and was a fan. He didn't have no to give signal that the flight and them coming in.
You know what I mean?
He didn't have that.
So
and the last flight used to come on an evening.
Yeah, sometimes
4 o'clock.
Yeah, 4:30.
Yeah, that was the last flight. And 2 flights used to get 2 flights a day.
Yeah.
Or 1 flight a day.
Health centers.
All right. Well,
community centers.
We're talking about the health center. What I know, Keelan.
The health center was in
Keelan one Keelan
health center.
That was in
Golden Grove.
Golden Grove
Road.
Yeah. Where you see they do the body, they went for the gym.
Yeah.
There was the health center. Right? And because of development and then Bonacord too far down and think they brought it down to Milford Court.
And Milford Court after Flora?
Yeah. Long after
when Flora come and lick up the health center up in the health office,
they come down
they bring it down Bonacord.
Good. So, and then they move from Milford Court and go to the back there.
But if you check the sizes, you know, it has...
they make it a mini hospital.
Yeah.
So Bonacord Health Center was the first mini hospital
that we had.
Outside of Scarborough.
Fort.
Right.
So as you touched on that, I want to look very quickly. We have about 10 minutes and counting. Johnny, from your end, we saw from 2001, we saw the Orville London-led PNM administration.
Right.
And we saw successive terms. And in that time frame, I think what was able to be accomplished from years before at a slow pace, we saw doubling and tripling in terms of delivery to the people of Tobago.
Let me answer. A lot of people talking about 21 years PNM. How old is the assembly? How old is the assembly? How old is the assembly?
The assembly?
How old is the assembly?
43.
Who was the first 20? What happened with the first 20? Nobody not talking about this.
That's it.
Nobody not talking about this 20. I think though I want to say as I hear, it could be on the same seat. The person was saying it. I heard a gentleman, was saying that Dr. Keith Rowley said, or Mr. Ochoy Charles told them that Dr. Keith Rowley said it only Rock alone was in Study Park. I want to make this thing clear. 2 geologists work in Study Park. Dr. Suku and Dr. Keith Rowley. Dr. Suku become Professor Suku. Dr. Rowley become Scientist Rowley. Right? I could remember I worked for 45 years. Could remember when there was a move from Green Hill to Study Park. It was saying Green Hill has still have stone better than Study Park. Good. But they leave out Green Hill and went Study Park. Also, what Dr. Suku and Dr. Rowley was saying, the better stone in Tobago is in Bad Rock. The best stone, best quality of stone is in Bad Rock. So they were proposing to do certain things in from Bad Rock to move the stone. But I heard a gentleman who seems to be a public servant saying that Dr. Rowley say the only thing that they have in Study Park is Rotten Rock. And those things are false. You can't
100% false.
You can't let people go down the road. So we have, and the next thing they're saying that Trinidadians don't like to be going. Let me show you folks. The Seaban Association. How much Seaban Tobago have?
Quite a few now.
Tobagonian is the president.
Yeah.
Calypso Association. How much Calypsonian we have?
Tobagonian is the
right.
president at
NITCO.
Chairman.
And we could go on and on.
Yeah.
We could go on and on. The speaker at the Senate.
Prime Minister.
And we're still saying that Trinidadians don't like to
be. It's a foolish narrative.
Or the PNM don't like to be going. And I can't understand that. I cannot understand that. And we could go on and on. And I don't like all these big people, especially some of them who call themselves educated people, telling people, these young people, this nonsense. And expect crime will go.
But look at James, we're talking now, when Mr. do towards him, that he rebelled now whatever Fali said with Dennis now. And say he was not happy man with Dennis do for him, and he could have found reason to do it. But now they're segregating or whatever since they're in power, they know what they're doing. And he come and talk about Mr. London, and Mr. London do for him too.
And that's the thing.
And he never wondered why they are doing this now.
Everybody used to get assistance.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember like when we jam Mr. London about, you know, there are times when you'd find people on the opposite side, they getting
employment than me.
And we who
but this fella James talk about it.
Not getting anything. And
I never had this for going
Mr.
on
London
at this
used
time.
to say they are all Tobagonians. Tobagonians. So now, when you come in now, according to the Max, and you want to fire all the PNM, fire all PNM.
And signing no contract.
That is
signing
pure
no contract.
Evil.
And we are now seeing Max James speaking out about it.
Yeah, Max.
We heard
telling you.
Dr. Vanas James speak out about it. Anthony James speak out against it.
To Martin George.
Martin George speaking out against it.
Danny John and all
and it seems as if persons are coming to their senses now and realizing that the administration that they thought they were putting into office.
Especially them contractors in Trinidad, where they say they didn't do no bargain with the Trinidad and contractors. Look how it's coming out clear now.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and folks, we have about 3 more minutes, but I like how the conversation going here. Yeah. Because as all 3 of you echoed, Mr. Archer said people contested elections and came back to work as normal and work until retirement. A particular assistant secretary who now is one of the most treacherous voices against the PNM and central government. She worked until retirement and retired as a director of a particular field,
yeah.
unchallenged, nobody victimized.
Yeah.
And what we are seeing now is literally a total contrast to what PNM governance was.
Yeah.
PNM built Tobago, and again, as Nicey said, PNM is not perfect. But PNM built Tobago because PNM had a plan for development. Mr. Archer said it when they came in. The first thing they did was what? Get a plan. What is the plan? And so PNM built Tobago
with
school
love.
by school with love for everybody. As you always saying, they used to call Mr. Sandy what? Working Sandy.
Sandy.
Because when you talk about things getting done, and we have people trying to spread this narrative that PNM didn't do anything.
And I point out about that.
So go ahead.
A lot of young people doesn't know.
They're too lazy.
That we have a power plant. We own power plant in Tobago. A lot of them doesn't know we have our own gas, natural gas plant in Tobago.
NP.
Good. And these people, instead of they educate the young people how to go forward in Tobago here, all they put in hate and more hate.
All they're interested in is a fight.
PNM do nothing.
Creating a fight.
But this Christmas, they're feeling it. All now they're feeling
Christmas
it. All
coming,
now.
you see a man, you see a man walking up and
You
then
hear what
I'm
I'm telling you?
painting
They're
that.
feeling it now. You only call it, only you see the Joel, yes and no ampa. Suffer the nation no ampa. Party man is a party. The day they say, this fella, Baines was singing something down Boko. And he was on stage. Say PNM never do such a thing down there. But who built that place down?
The same stage that they on. These people are so foolish. They're going about talking this thing and they're using facilities that were built under PNM.
By the PNM
administration.
Look at Shopper Complex where he said she was so much down.
Exactly. They protested against Shopper.
Yeah.
And I mean, before we close, this one thing I wanted for somebody to bring up. Remember when PNM wanted to build the highway?
Yes.
No, but they said well, lie down there and dead.
Well, my brother,
lie down there,
we closing with this one.
My brother, I home. A deceased partner called me. He said we're going and demonstrate. I said demonstrate where? In town. To the back by Botanics Garden. I heard Dennis and Jack and them, Jack Boy, we go on the lie down thing.
Yeah, say lie down there.
They have a lady name is Becca. In Canaan. All of you.
We are highway. We didn't highway in Tobago. Look at the highway now in Tobago. Look at the highway now in
The tractor
Tobago.
pushing stuff coming up.
Yeah.
Man, sit down.
They say lie down there and dead.
The deceased call. He say, what's going on there? Say what? Look, Robinson, Murphy, John, and some other lady stand up in the bandstand, building the bandstand in Botanic Garden. So we out there, and he in the bandstand and Murphy, John, and
still lie down there and dead.
Boy, let me move on there. The demonstration mash up.
That's up, yeah.
And the highway was built.
Next morning,
Yeah, and then when you passing now.
next morning, 2 days after, the boss and them saying they could jump high, they could jump low.
Highway at the
Highway
bill, yeah.
It was Munila started and Shiram finished it. If we only just stand up and say we didn't want the highway, just as we were playing the fool and say we don't want the airport.
The airport too.
And all the people and them was well paid in the airport. When you ask anyone of them now, yeah, man that passed away, our boy Joseph, say if he didn't know, before you would have been sleeping in your house.
And folks, we want to be just close on that note. And I'm glad we closed there because just as persons try to rile up protests against the highway that is now critical for every Tobagonian, whether you're driving or you're traveling. The same thing these persons did with Sandals Hotel, which would have benefited Tobago, just as it benefited every other island. The same thing they did
Colonel Highway should have been a 4-lane, 2 apart.
Exactly. Same thing they
So
tried
they cut
with
it
the
down.
airport.
They cut it down and
These people have a history of curbing and cutting short and stymieing what is development for Tobago. And they are trying to say That is the PNM.
Let me close
when the PNM always
when they were
bills
building Milford Court,
They have,
the housing
Big
scheme in
Pen.
Milford Court.
They say, what's Big
They
Pen?
tell all of us to take none.
Big Pen.
Let me pick pen. Go take none.
And you see people- and you see people and them that take that place?
Some people from country, all different places.
Yeah, see people and them that take that place.
Milford
Same
Court.
Pig
That
Pen.
was the first. That was the trial. Then
Police officers and all kind of things take over that Big Pen.
So, folks, we want to thank you for staying logged in with us. I want to thank my esteemed guest in studio, who I mean, the history lessons we get here tonight. Wow.
Yeah.
This we I don't know if I could get you all to come out at night again for another episode in the new year, but we're going to have some discussions about that, folks.
Next time we
wanna
call back, I
thank
want
you.
them to call in.
Call in. Nice. So we'll have questions and stuff.
Yes.
Folks, we want to thank you for staying logged on with us. I know many of you would have heard some things here tonight that you never knew in your entire lifetime. But that's what happens when you have the persons who can pass on the oral traditions. It's important to have those who would have gone before to continue to speak into our lives so that we understand where we are coming from and that it's going to help us to plan where we are going. Any society that eliminates or removes the relevance and the importance of its seniors is a society that is going to fail. Thank you for staying logged on. Thank you for staying with us for the last 2 years on the Minority Report. And we do, in fact, look forward to seeing you next year. I want to wish each and every one of you a Merry Christmas. Regardless of what your situation may be, I want to encourage you to find someone, find a family that you can make a difference in their life. I am Marilyn David saying Merry Christmas, have a wonderful New Year, and we look forward to seeing you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.